Hello everyone, I'm Nightmare Nemo and welcome to Scary Town, the Goosebumps and Review Show. This week we are, I know it's been a while, but this one I wanted to wait until the time is right because this is a very special book that is a culmination of the Goosebumps Horrorland series, because the way the books are structured, if you're not familiar or if you don't remember, is that there's the main story and then there's the backup where the kid in the main story goes to Horrorland, and it's an ongoing narrative where all the kids eventually are going to have their own story. And that brings us to Escape from Horrorland. So it's pretty cool. And then there's the back there. It says secret source, lies, spies, and foiled tries, grisly getaway. And I'm actually like not really fond of the cover as much. As kind of, I don't know, it's kind of bland to me. I don't know. Just a horror with like a cape, and I don't know. It's whatever. I don't know if that's supposed to be Byron or somebody else. No, it's whatever. But yeah, so this is the book where there's the main story is the kids in Horrorland, and it's enough of the just having the Horrorland stuff and the backstory. This is the complete book, is all of that, so there's like enough teasing everyone for like 10 books, and it's been 10 books. So last time we left off in Horrorland, the big surprise is Lizzie and Luke, who, if you're not familiar, they were the original kids in classic Goosebumps book, One Day at Horrorland. So they're the first ones to go to Horrorland, and it's all set like they went to Horrorland like 1 year ago. So that's just kind of give you a rundown of how this all fits in chronologically. So apparently they've been like stalking the other kids, and for whatever reason, and they finally confront the kids saying, you guys need to, Horrorland's not safe and stuff. At this point in the story, a couple of the kids have been sent to Panic Park, and they're trapped there, and because the whole thing is believed like Horrorland's real bad news and Panic Park is like a safe haven, but they want to reunite with them and then escape Horrorland, like the title. Go to Panic Park and everything's gonna be cool, right? Except Lizzie and Luke kind of dropped the bomb saying that you shouldn't go to Panic Park because Panic Park's even worse than Horrorland, and it's like they don't believe it. Jillian, if you remember from the last book, like Help We Have Strange Powers, she can read minds, and she reads the mind of Lizzie, and she's like, she gets this vibe that she's not really telling the truth, so they don't really trust Lizzie and Luke, and it's like, forget them, we're gonna go to Panic Park anyways. And the book's called Escape from Horrorland, but kind of surprisingly, they spend very little time in Horrorland in this, which I guess makes sense. I mean, in the last 10 books, they've been stuck in Horrorland, so I guess we already had our fill of Horrorland. So they find a way into Panic Park, and surprise, they found out there's some horrible things going on there, and it's a lot worse than Horrorland. So Lizzie and Luke were right, and they catch up with their friends, and some of the rides that are there, particularly one called the Tunnel of Hate. This is kind of a play on the Tunnel of Love, and things get pretty violent and pretty messed up. So near the end, they encounter this guy who's been behind like the whole entire thing. He's orchestrated everything. And this guy is called the Menace, and he is in charge of Panic Park. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a little weird at first to because you're like used to the Horrorland stuff being like separate, and this is like a whole entire book. So if you've been following the Horrorland series, it's everything you've been waiting for up to this point, and it doesn't disappoint. And there's a couple of surprises from some characters from the other books that the kids thought they were done with, and apparently they were wrong. So you never really know what to expect. So there's some surprises, and as far as like recommending it, it's kind of it doesn't do very well as a standalone story as much because it relies so much on you knowing these characters from the other books, so you don't really there's no emotional attachment like because you feel like you're missing stuff because there's a lot of references and characters that make a surprise appearance from the other books, and then you just don't really know because this book obviously heavily relies on you already have read the other books, and if you haven't read all of them, then some of the stuff might spoil it for you. So I mean, I would definitely recommend it if you've already been following the Goosebumps Horrorland series, but definitely it's going to be kind of weak if you don't know anything about the Horrorland series. And as far as problems I had with it, really, like, I don't know, like, me personally, I wanted to see more of the stuff in Horrorland, but it makes sense that we've already spent, like, a lot of time in Horrorland at this point, so, you know, it's understandable, so that's just my personal nitpick. But this is still really strong. You start to see the nature of things going on. It gets a little bit more darker. Like once they go into Panic Park, things get more serious and the stakes are higher. So I thought the tonal shift of the story was really good in that aspect. So the story behind Panic Park is really interesting, and I enjoyed that. So I mean that's all I gotta say about it. I was really excited to finally read this after like 10 books and several months of reviewing the Horrorland series. It didn't disappoint for me, so I loved it. So I hope you guys loved it as well if you've been following the series. So next time in Horrorland, we will reach the final book in this story arc, and that'll be it for the Horrorland, the original story arc. And there's going to be another story arc after that with really no relation to any of the characters. So look forward to that. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Thanks so much for watching.